Most of the tenants had Irish surnames. Rafferty sat all day at his window facing 3rd Street, selling cigarettes for a quarter apiece. Quigley worked as a waiter at the 2nd Avenue Deli, his white jacket and black pants a size too small for his tall, lanky body. After work every day, he sat in his room, drinking a 6-pack of Rheingold cans. Bobby Healy spent his days at the OTB parlor, betting the horses. His poison was Richard's Wild Irish Rose, the flat pint empties littering his floor. The single-room occupancy hotel was on East 3rd Street, just off the Bowery. Originally 2 identical brick 3-story row houses that had been converted in the 1940s. The facade still showed ghostly outlines of the 2 stoops, replaced now by a single street-level doorway that opened into a central staircase. On each of the 3 levels was a hallway lined with single rooms, 9 to a floor, with a shared bathroom at one end. The rooms were 11 feet long by 6 feet wide, with high ceilings and a tall window. Each had a white enameled cast iron sink attached to the wall, with a medicine cabinet above. Most rooms still had the original furniture, a metal frame bed with a single mattress on springs, a wooden 2-drawer wardrobe, a bedside table, and maybe a bentwood chair. A bare bulb on the ceiling with a chain hanging down. The shades on the windows looked like ancient yellowed parchment from the years exposed to cigarette smoke. The walls of some of the rooms were so thick with nicotine, they looked varnished. Some of the men who lived there also had a sallow hue, as if the years spent smoking and drinking in those small spaces had left them like cured meat. The rich, acrid odor of decades of captured smoke mixed with beer, wine, and rot-gut booze, body odor, urine, and bay rum cologne was concentrated in these chambers. Billy Mulligan worked across the Bowery as a desk clerk at the White House, the last of the big SRO hotels that used to line the avenue. He was short, pear-shaped, with an oval balding head and a large nose crazed with burst capillaries. He wore wide-rimmed glasses over his watery blue eyes and always dressed in a suit. The cuffs of his shirts were frayed and the sleeves of his jacket shiny at the elbows. Mulligan spoke with a deep, raspy voice that he claimed was caused by mustard gas that he inhaled during the war. All these guys had stories. The one they told you wasn't always the real one. Billy went to Mass at Grace Church every Sunday. There was a dust-encrusted plastic crucifix with a rosary wrapped around it above his bed. Faded pictures of Cardinal Spellman and Pope John the 23rd hung on his wall. One day, Billy came to the office to tell me he was moving. When he brought the few things he owned downstairs, he apologized for leaving his room a mess. He pulled me aside, gripping my arm and talking in a low voice as he looked up at me. "John, I couldn't take everything. Please just throw it all out. I'm sorry." He pressed some bills into my hand as he said goodbye. His room was cleaner than most. Under the bed was a cheap suitcase. When I opened it, I saw it was full of pornographic pulp novels, some of them pretty raunchy. Almost all of them were gay-themed, a lot of S&M and bondage. I saw that the picture of Cardinal Spellman had fallen to the floor behind the bed. The glass cracked. I picked it up, put it in the suitcase on top of the books, and dragged it all out to the trash can on the corner.